morning. Welcome to Pries Capital. You must be the new recruit.
Oh, is this the new recruit?
Yes, it is.
Awesome. Follow me, Mr. Superstar. Here at Pries Capital, we love showcasing art. The stunning bronze dragon sculpture Kiko by the renowned artist Nano Lopez is definitely a showstopper. And these pieces on the walls, the legendary Michael Godard is practically a rock star in the art world. There's art all over the office, creating a vibrant, creative atmosphere to work in and collaborate in. And here is Tyler Pries, our hardworking mortgage loan officer. If you're looking to purchase real estate in the Myrtle Beach area, Tyler's the guy to know.
Looks like you have your hands full. Ashlyn, can you grab a book for him? And I'll see you at the meeting.
And here's Raj, one of Jason's right-hand guys for commodities trading. Good morning, Raj.
Good morning.
Meet the new recruit.
Hi. Hope you like to work hard and play hard. This is a high-stakes environment. Split-second decisions can make or break an opportunity. Welcome to the firm.
Don't worry about Raj. He's a quiet powerhouse, but he's critical to everything we do here. And here's the founder and real estate powerhouse herself, Tina Pries.
Good morning. How are you? So glad to have you with us. Can't wait to see you in action. We're just about ready to start the meeting for Jason's market analysis. I will see you both in the conference room.
Good morning, Jason. This is the new recruit.
Hey, welcome. We're glad to have you here. Your skill set is exactly what we need. I love people dedicated to their craft. But hey, I got to get ready for this morning's analysis, so I'll see you in a bit.
Thanks, Jason. You're awesome. Right here, we have one of our many conference rooms. And down the hallway over here, we have the intelligent and sharp-eyed Miss Jill.
Why, thank you, Ashlyn. Nice to meet you.
Jill thrives in the world of spreadsheets, balance sheets, and financial forecasts.
You'll fit right in, so go check out your new office.
And here's your new office. And over here, we have some welcome goodies for you. Just a small thank you of saying welcome to the family. Okay, so I've got to get ready for the meeting, but check out the gym over here, grab some coffee and bagels in this room to the right, and then I'll meet you in the conference room.
Good morning. Thanks for joining us. Go ahead, take a seat. Welcome back to another morning market analysis. Let's get comfortable and dive in.
This CPI trap has the potential to be one of the most profitable opportunities we've seen this week. CPI hits this morning, and when you combine that catalyst with yesterday's strong move higher, the setup becomes very clear. Good morning and welcome back to another Team Day Trader edition of the Daily Market Analysis. Settle in, grab your coffee, and let's prepare for today's trading session. As always, take a moment to subscribe if you're new and explore the resources linked in the description below. And we are going to look at the number. I wanted to first go right to the trigger chart because I know, right, CPI hits at 8:30 and we go live at 8:30. So, good morning. Who do we got here? Good morning, William. That's the only person I see in the chat. And we are rocketing higher. Let's go, now that we're seeing the price action. So we are moving higher, right? So let's go quickly to the dashboard. Anybody got the numbers? Oh, the numbers are 0.2% month over month. Core CPI, sorry. Core CPI is 0.2. Otherwise, regular CPI came in as, right, 0.3 as forecasted. And so did CPI year over year is 2.7. So nothing big. Let's see what it looks like on the, we got to probably refresh this. Did this change? Probabilities. Not much. Yesterday was 95.6 and we're down to 95. So not much. And as far as today's news by Y charts, JP Morgan Chase's earnings did come out today. They weren't that bad. Pretty decent, actually. And it was up in pre-market. And we'll take a look at that. Other than the inflation that we just got at 8:30, right? There's nothing else to really look at. And I'm going to talk about earnings on JP Morgan, and then I'm going to try to buzz through a couple things because there's a lot of charts I want to get to, especially with CPI. I want to look at a few futures with you because, again, as we just read off, CPI 2.7%, kind of flat. Right, we've definitely just kind of gone sideways, hovering. The Fed target we all know is 2, and then but we've been playing around with this close to 3 inflation. So we do have inflation in the economy and running a little bit hot, closer to 3 than 2. And one thing I was looking at, and that's what I want to go over, is some of the futures today, because even though this is coming in basically sideways, really since 2024, right? So if we go to 2024, this just kind of is running from the government number 2.7 and running kind of flat. Now, a couple of things on the charts that kind of has me a little skeptical. So let's get right into that right now. So first of all, let's look at, where do I want to go with you guys? Let me bring that back later, because I do. So here's JP Morgan, right? So we closed yesterday 324, and we are trading at and around 3, right? So 325.60. So again, another $1 higher. So we're right around here if we were to open. And so again, JP Morgan opening up higher than yesterday's close. And again, CPI, right? We can see in the chart, right? This is today's candle in the futures. And right, we closed yesterday, opened up in the overnight. And then again with CPI, right, we're making, again, what are we doing? There is this stair stepping up of a move higher. So we're going to talk a little bit more on that and deeper as we get into trading pathing and trading setups in the ES. But I wanted to go over, let me go to this chart. Let me take this, and we are going to move this to my commodities watch list. And this goes back, what do we got here on the week? So 2 years. Let's do 3 years. Only because I want to kind of go back to 2024. Right? And so this is where I'm having a hard time when I look at the chart and I see the data. So here we have steel. Right? Let me break this out into a little bit bigger charts. Make it easier for you guys to see. Right? So here in the end, you can see the, right? So here we have steel, and going back to 2024, right? And then where is steel? And, here's the tariffs, or the tariff low from last year. And look at this thing. And you can't tell me that is a 3% increase over the past year, right? So even right here's last year, in no way is that 3%. And again, right, the CPI is a basket. But as we go through some of these charts, I'm having a really hard time, believing in the CPI. And I think in what we're feeling, as people on the ground, I feel like it's more than 3. So here's palladium. And again, when I look at this chart on palladium, obviously we're paying a lot higher price for palladium than we did a year ago or going back to 2024. Here's platinum futures. So again, higher. Copper, more than 3%. Silver, skyrocketing. Gold, higher. And this is the thing. And so the CPI has a lot of weightings in it. And this is where I think people get duped. Maybe that's probably the best, the friendliest way to say it. But you have gasoline futures are down, right? So gasoline is in this downward channel, you know, descending in price. So we are getting a little relief in gasoline. And as we also know, we're getting a little bit of relief in oil for the last 2 years. But that's like, I think Trump, and I don't want to get political, so I don't want to, I hate when I say the word Trump because everybody gets triggered. But, politics, let's just say politics, right? What people see on a daily is, right, we go to the grocery store and then we see the gas prices. And everybody, I mean, I can't tell you, especially for like males, it's funny when you get together at Christmas or holidays or birthdays, and it's like, the hot topic is like the gasoline prices. It's just funny. Maybe it's not for everybody, but it always seemed like me growing up and even getting together now as older or whatever. But this random discussion about hey, I got saved 10 cents. I'm getting a good deal to this week and filled up my truck. And I got a good deal. I want a blue ribbon award. It's just funny. Anyways, I'm getting off topic. Life is life is just hilarious. So anyways, it's like a male thing. We brag about how good a deal we filled up our truck, and we went to this gas station and got, we're so excited we got 5 cents or 8 cents or 10 cents off of gasoline, a gallon of gas. It cracks me up. Oh, things in life that crack you up. Anyways, let's get back to the chart. So we do know that gas and oil is down, but when we look at a lot of other commodities, right? Natural gas, I'd say, we're, here was last year, second week, right? So last year's second week, this candle here, and then this is second week. So we are down, but then going back to 2024, right? Second week, we're about flat. So flattish on natural gas. We already showed all of the things that we're higher on. Milk, right? We are lower or about flattish, flat to low, lower in milk. So I guess a little bit of non-inflationary in milk. Oats, flat to down. Lean hogs, depends on where we're taking the number, right? Flat for year over year, higher from a couple years ago. Feeder cattle, higher. This is like, my steaks are just ridiculous, right? So live cattle up. Soybean meal, flat to down. Wheat, flat to down. Soybeans, flat year over year, flat to down a couple years. Corn, flat to this week a little bit slightly down. And then that's the Bloomberg Commodity Index. So I guess you got a little bit of mixed bag. You got some that are a little bit slightly flat to down, especially in the agricultural. Oops, I do not want to do that. I do not want to take a trade on that right now. But some wheat, some corn, but then again, when I look at the metals, platinum, palladium, copper, all up, steel up. I guess take it out as you will. I was looking at these yesterday, and maybe it was because I was looking at the bottom things. The bottom, those look, that just looks parabolic. Anyways, I just thought we'd this is just a good exercise. Maybe some of you guys run an exercise and check that out. So again, when we're watching CPI, I also will go through kind of some of the commodities long term just to see what that trades out. And then again, going back to JP Morgan, let's look at that on 5-day, and we're almost going to be opening up almost to where we closed yesterday. So again, a little bit of two-way market action, but not much. Again, and then let's go look at the chart. Let's just go through this morning's analysis. Let's do that. Get a focus point here on how we're going to trade and make money today. So, as we head into the session, right, when I wrote this at 7:15, I always think that's important to understand. So when I wrote this at 7:15, we were lower by 7.5 points. Obviously, we're higher. And the skew was positioned 2.54 net long volume delta. We were in balance. We are still in balance. So even though that kind of pushed out, we'll look at the trigger chart, but as I can see it in the corner of my eye, we are going to open up in balance if price was to open right now. And then the 10-day ATR is about 50 points. Structurally standpoint, the market remains bullish on a higher time frame. Again, I'll be operating with day trade setup number 5 as the framework. We'll look at that in the pathing. And then as the day progresses, now that the CPI is released, I'm going to be looking at as the day is developing balance and towards the later of the day, I'll be looking at day trade setup type 13. This setup is usually like anything is after 2 o'clock Eastern time. So 2 p.m. Eastern time, I'll really be looking for day trade setup 13. This is an afternoon trade setup. It's basically a liquidity trade. And so again, I'll be looking at that. So in the morning here, as we open up at 9:30, I'm trading day trade setup type 5, and then I'll be looking at day trade type 13 as the day starts to conclude. As long as price, right, our levels today, or my levels today, as long as price respects that 69.98, right, dips remain buyable. And again, the fight club is that 7,016, right, on the upside. Sustainable acceptance above 7,016 keeps momentum intact and puts new highs back in play. We already got new highs as of in the overnight. So again, I would expect some more rotation to the up. I am trading long today. Just FYI, that's how I'm setting up. And again, where I would switch, right? And again, I talk about having a flexible mindset is if price, right, kind of does not respect that 69.98. And we'll talk about that on the charts, just for clarity and context. So with that said, we can close that out. And let's really quick start off as we usually do. Good morning, Earl. How are you doing today, bud? As we start with okay, I do got the hand on here. Let's do that. Okay. So on the hourly chart, right, we are making, right, higher highs, higher lows, right, higher highs, higher lows, and then a higher high. So again, right, I'm going to always reference what's the market. The market trades in 3 ways. So the market trades in 3 ways. We're either channeling in a trend, right, and it can be a descending trend or an ascending trend, right, down or up. It's either trading that, it's trading sideways, or it's trading in a triangle. And this is what's called the consolidation phase in the market. That's it. You either got 1, 2, or 3. So with that said, right, we are kind of trading in a very, I would say it's not an easy ascending channel. It's definitely been a little bit of frustration where you get a big move, right, and push, and this looks like almost a literally sideways. But when you're thinking of a channel and you're moving up, this move right here can feel like it's sideways, and then you get another move up, right? And so in an ascending or descending channel, I'm gonna make an argument that this is very hard, right? So again, on a spectrum of trading, easy, hard, right? When you're in this trading range, going sideways inside of a ascending channel, does set you up a little bit on the hard side of trading, right? Because what looks like where buyers aren't really getting any traction, and right, it just is like, oh, we can't get any movement. And so you're thinking, or you have an intuition where they're just not getting it. There's some distribution in here, and you're waiting for, right, this thing to break, and then it doesn't. And then, right, I think yesterday it was even hard for me. I took two trades. I started in the morning, and right off the bat, two of my first trades were losers. And it always sucks when you right off the bat in the morning, and it's like back to back losses, stop out, and you're trying to then get back in, and now the move's already happened, and this is very frustrating. So this can be definitely very frustrating. Yesterday was frustrating, especially when this was Friday's action where we kind of moved up and then closed, and then we open up and we're down here, and right, you're kind of have this trading range sideways, and this felt like a little bit of a bull trap. And lo and behold, right off the open, they just gunned it for 30 points. And right, I was looking to short the retracement, back down, and then once those two didn't work, like, okay, that's not it. And right, I stopped being short. So but two right off the bat. Anyways, with that said, right, price is holding this, right? This blue line here is the 20 period moving average, right? So this does help with trend. And as, right, you can see where price kind of, you can obviously see the trend line in blue, right? So I'm not going to kind of redraw that. But then you can see where price kind of broke up above it, broke out below it, above it, below it. And now this is important right there, because that's usually what kicks off some trends, is price holds that moving average, right? And then the trend sets up, and then boom, we get price, right? And then higher. And then as this then follows price, right? And the trend starts. And then when we're really in a trending market, if price does pull back, it kind of hits the trend line and then takes off again. And so as you can see, right, price is holding that trend line. This is when we're all, so if most people don't know, maybe I've said it before, but I am a momentum trader. I like trend trades, right? Like I'm a, trend trader, and I usually trade trends. And so, right, those are the most lucrative: momentum trading, trend trading, these things, these words that you'll hear in the financial industry. Those are the most lucrative trade, where you're in it and you're in an instrument or a equity, and there's just this overwhelming trend in it. And right, it just makes easy for trading. Don't get me wrong, range trading is also easy when you're in a range, and then you can be confident that you can buy the lows, sell the highs, and trade that. But in trending markets, when they're really a good trend, it's easy to, right, a move pulls up, it pulls back, it holds the pullback, right, and then goes up, and then holds a pullback, and then goes up, and then holds a pullback. I mean, these are reliable trades too. And what's nice about these is you can really add to your winners, right? So you can, the move comes up, take some profits off, it comes back down, don't take all of them off, because, right, you want to leave runners. But if it does pull back, you can add to it, be confident, and then go on. And this can really set up a very good P&L. I mean, this can set up a decent P&L too, but you got to like take them all off, take them all, put them back on, vice versa and kind of trade. So, I mean, ranges can be good too, but I like trends. I like to see a good trend, and the trend can be down too. I'm always waiting for that day of a recession. They don't come that often, right? I talk about that. They come like 3-4 times in your lifetime, but when they do come, those are just as lucrative in life. I mean, the 2008 recession was a very lucrative time for me and my family, and I can't stress it enough. Like, that was a great time. It's usually when I make the most money in my life is during those recessions. So I do like them when they do come. And again, you're trading the trend. So that's why I like stock market more than real estate investing, more than business or whatever, right? Those are only plays in life where you only make money when the economy, GDP, is expanding and growing. When there's a contraction in the economy, your real estate, right, kind of doesn't hold price, as well as your business suffers in sales, yada, 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 right? Those are negative pushes. In the markets, right, we don't care. You shouldn't care as a trader. Trade the market going up, trade the market going down. You can make money both ways. So anyways, as far as today, I really like that this trade setting up in the ES. I don't have nothing to say in the profile charts. Let's go to the trigger chart, and then if anybody has any stocks that they want me to hit or anything that they want me to take a look at on the charts, we'll take a look at that before we close. So I'll kind of mention that right now. If nobody puts anything in the chat, then I'll just deem it we're good and we won't go no further. So as we get into the trigger chart, how will I be trading this? So as I talked about, right, this 7,016 is right there, and then the 6,998 is down here, these two levels. Now, as we open up, if we were to open up right now, we're opening up in Fight Club, right? This is Fight Club, right down in 7,016. So again, this is where patience pays off, right? Watch how this resolves itself. We already have a candle from the CPI to kind of reference. So again, the low of the candle, the high of the candle, and then we got that value area low, static value area low at 69.98. And again, from yesterday's, this is thin. So right, this is thin structure. So that's why this level becomes very important, in which they did hold in the overnight, right? We have held that in the overnight because, right, this is, if anybody was trading yesterday, I mean, they opened up and they just streamed it higher very quickly, right? So that was very fast, very clean, poor structure in here, right? So thin structure. And so if price does get below this, this will be like a vacuum all the way down to 69.70 and a half. So as we open up, watch that. Now, I'm not playing for the downside right now. I would need day trade setup number 5 to kind of open up, and then price to kind of open, and then it break below, and it had to break below this. So one, I wouldn't be short just yet. It had to break below this, come into thin structure, come back, hold the pullback, and then come down, and I would then, right, be looking at shorting into this area to then, if we got past, and when I say past, not a trap low, right? There's a difference between coming down in here in a trap. This would be considered a trap, and then back up, let alone coming through here and then breaking down below and then pulling up and then targeting here, right? So it'd be shorting here on a confirmation of a hold the pullback, and then targeting 69.70. But then when we get down to 69.70, this would be very bearish in price action. And right, I'd probably take some profits here, but then leave a runner to see if we get right extension lower. But I'm getting ahead of myself. But I did want to show you how, if you were thinking of selling short, you know, this is how I would think about it. Otherwise, you know, what's your basis to go short? We've talked about where we're making higher highs and higher lows in the sequence trend count. You know, we just made another higher high. So, you know, to pull back, right, where buyers pull back, very constructive, you know, where they hold the pullback, and then, right, we march higher. The only way you'd get bearish is if price told us to be that we need to be bearish. And right, we have to wait for that and get confirmation where they break down, pull back, and then hold. This doesn't signify anything right now, right? If anything, this move higher where we took out yesterday's high says, hey, we should be bullish and right, buy a pullback for a resumption of trend, right? So that's how I'm really trading it, is as we open up, right, I'm watching Fight Club and then see where I can get long. You know, obviously this would be the juicy long. It'd be nice if we would get like a little bit of a opening drive lower, I'd watch this area, see if this can hold. I haven't looked at my number bar chart. So there is a lot of thin structure down here. I could see them repairing some of that thin structure of the 7,005 to 7,009 when I just glance over at the number bar chart. So definitely some filthy structure. I use the word filthy. Yeah, filthy animal. Anyways, some filthy structure on the chart down there at the low 7,000. So, you know, I'll have to take what the market gives me. I'd like to see something where they, right, fix that. If they, and again, this is the if, right? If then. And this is a way that you can think about it. I just told you about the shitty structure. Let me show you that so you can see that. Let's go to the main chart book. Where's my mouse? I have to bring this chart over. Okay, so you can see easily this structure. This is really poor structure in here. See all these zeros, right? That is very poor structure. Now, if price comes down and repairs this, that would be constructive, and you'd really like to see that. And then, right, we can kind of get in a nice entry low down below, right, this 7,005 to 69.98 area. But as I talked about, if slash then, if price doesn't even come here to repair this, then what's that telling you? Right? That buyers are very strong. You know what I mean? Like sellers can't even, or I don't care if you want to call it the algorithms, however you want to, you know, describe the market structure, but they don't even repair that structure. That poor structure, they're like, forget about it, right? So if they don't go down and repair this, right, then that should be the thing that says then, right, it is very strong and you want to definitely be on the buy side, you know, for the you know, taking buy the dips setups, right? That's the thing that you want to focus on. Put that chart back over there. So going back to the trigger chart, right? So again, if this don't get repaired, right, and this was an inflection low, and we open up and they hold this, right, and they don't come down to repair that, then, we need to get long, or I need to get long, and then, right, resume this trend upward, right? I've talked about last week, 7,040, 7,050 area, right? Watch that. We do have the 10-day ATR is at around 50 points. So if we take, say, 70-20 and add 50 points, we're at 70-70, right? That should be something targeting. Whew, I got to work on my mouse writing. So 70-70 would be something that I'd be targeting. So again, getting in, usually I'm in with 4 contracts. So right as that kind of goes in my favor, right, taking some contracts off at the overnight high, right? Then I'm gonna have 3, taking something off somewhere between probably up around this higher end of 70-50, and then I'll have 2, and then watching how that plays out, like, right, do we get another, is this like a move where we day trade setup number 5, we push out, pull back, push out, pull back, push out? Is it that kind of trading day, or is it a push up, balance, push up, balance, and then end of day push again, right? And so the steps, instead of going up, pull back, up, pull back, up, pull back, it's more of up, sideways, and then up, and watching which one of these is playing out. Because if this just opens up, we make a run for it, and then they do this, right? And then they do this, right? And then they run, right? So it's like sideways, where you don't really get a flag back. It's more just sideways movement, right? And then that's where we have to take profits, as I talked about at inflections. And then if it pulls back, right, watching how this price action plays out, and does it go sideways, or do we get a flag pattern back and buying to continue, and then taking some off, letting it pull back, and then buying to then continue. And so that's kind of the setup. And then again, at around 2 o'clock, I'll really be eyeing day trade type 13 as a end of day liquidity trade. So nobody put anything in the chat as far as any tickers. So we'll just end by saying, right, if you are close, if you're based in Myrtle Beach or close to Myrtle Beach and looking for a day trading collaborative office, we have the office here. I invite you to contact me directly. Our office number is down here, right? This is our address. If you're, looking to be a little subtle, you can email me if you want to see the Team Day Trader website, right? It's teamdaytrader.com. And then again, private equity, real estate investing. We have a real estate brokerage here. My wife runs that, right? Then priescapital.com, any of our investment research, portfolio construction, yada, yada, yada. So with that said, as always, learn, trade, profit, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a good day trading. Take it easy, guys.